We will be taking a look at how light is created using all different phenomena.
I wanted to make this video to show you a really helpful strategy for solving word problems.
But one recommendation, teacher tip, if you are planning on flipping your classroom, good morning. It is Monday, fun day. So back to the work week. Oh, my light just turned off. Oh, there we go. So I am headed into school this morning. I have a couple of copies to make. But other than that, I'm in pretty good shape. We are starting our very first, I guess, like major unit where this unit will take about, I would say 2 to 2.5 weeks. It's all about electron arrangement and light. So stay tuned this week for a bunch of very cool activities that I'll be doing with my students, and I am very excited for you to check it out. Hi, made it through Monday. So I had a great day with my students. Today we started our unit on light, and I'm getting a slow start with my students for this unit because one of the things that I wanted to do a little bit different this year was build stronger relationships with my students. And so one of the ways that I wanted to do this was by conferencing with them. So they took an assessment on Friday, and what I wanted to do today was use this as an opportunity to kind of just go over any mistakes that they made, answer any questions that they have, and basically just review anything that they're kind of still stuck on. And it worked beautifully. I guess, of course, one of the downsides about doing that during class time is that you really have to give something to the students that are not being conferenced with. That is, entirely kind of up to them. So what I did this morning is I actually came in and I recorded a video. What we do for our light unit here is typically we have our students use Bohr models to explain how light is created. So tomorrow, I guess not tomorrow, it'll be on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we will start a phenomenaling activity where my students will be basically constructing an explanation for how light is created, but they need Bohr models in order to do that. So let me show you kind of what I've been using to make my videos. It's similar to what you've seen before, but I'll kind of show you what I've been doing to kind of switch it up a little bit.
So if I wanted to first start with, let's say, carbon. We know that carbon has the symbol C, and that carbon has a total of 6 protons in the nucleus. So typically what we'll do is put 6p plus. And so 6p plus indicates that there are 6 protons. And you know now that if we're talking about protons, since we're talking about all neutral atoms at this point, that will be equal to the number of electrons. So that means in this Bohr model, we actually need to draw a total of 6 electrons.
So for the most part, I use Edpuzzle to make all of my videos, mostly because my school did away with the TechSmith relay that I was using last year. So I've been recreating my videos, but the method that I was using is similar to, it's kind of like a pseudo, it's actually called Fizz, F-I-Z-Z method. So more commonly, from my chalk and talk days, I have a ton of PowerPoint presentations that I don't use. So what I've been doing to help the students, and what I always do, is kind of use those PowerPoint presentations to scaffold any of the information that we're learning in class. Typically, I assign the video after we've done any kind of like guided inquiry, because that kind of defeats the purpose of a guided inquiry activity if you're assigning the video ahead of time. So I'm kind of at the point where I've been assigning the videos after, kind of as reinforcement or scaffolding, as I mentioned. But the Fizz method is really new for me. One of the reasons why I tried the Fizz method, and I kind of know a little bit more about it, is because I was running a professional development on Flip Learning this summer. And one of the things that I wanted the participants to understand was different methods of flipping your classroom. So the more common approach, like I mentioned, is using the PowerPoints and just kind of using Screencast-O-Matic to voice over it. But I actually really like the Fizz method. I actually kind of enjoy watching the videos for the Fizz method a little bit more, because I feel like you've got more, I don't know, it's like the teacher's like in front of you and they're like able to be really concise in the way that they're sharing the information. So this wasn't a true phys method. Typically with a phys method, I think you have to use like multiple whiteboards and pretty much everything is drawn out, you know, but like ahead of time. But I thought it would be helpful for the students to see me go through it step by step. So that's why I didn't draw out, you know, all the Bohr models and electron dot structures ahead of time. But either way, it worked out. The kids said it was really informative, and actually they said they really liked that other style of video too. They thought it was interesting. But one recommendation, teacher tip, if you are planning on flipping your classroom, I always recommend that you model for the students what you expect when they're watching a video. So obviously taking notes is an absolute necessity. You know, I think that is something that students often miss out on. If they're not taking notes, they're really not engaging with the content so much. I mean, lecture by its very nature is very passive. And so I think there's not a whole lot of cognitive engagement, and there's hardly any cognitive engagement if the students aren't writing anything down. So that's why I always recommend having just like a day in class where you spend time actually talking about what you expect for watching a video. So, oh, and then a second tip, if you're again thinking about flipping your classroom, your videos should always be made by you. And you're probably saying, there's so many amazing videos out there, why do I need to do this? And I absolutely agree with you. There are amazing videos. Like Tyler DeWitt is amazing. Like he puts out some amazing content. The kids really like it, and it's easy to understand. I don't think there's anything wrong with using those videos, but you should definitely supplement some of your own, because your students have a relationship with you. They're gonna wanna see you on the screen. They're not really gonna wanna see some stranger because they don't have a relationship with them. And then always trying to keep your audience engaged. So for example, like, you know, in one of my videos, I have a tiara on my head. You know, trying to do things that keep your audience engaged will also really help if you're planning on doing like, you know, the flip classroom or an in-flip version. But that's some kind of like tips and tricks that have really helped me along. Hi. So I am here much later than I wanted to be, but it's only because I feel that, you know, more work now is going to mean less work later, and I'm not going to be quite as stressed. And for me, that is worth all the time in the world. So believe it or not, I think it's about 5 o'clock already. I had a meeting after school, so that's why I'm here majorly late, but, you know, it's okay. It is what it is. I just wasn't able to get everything done, and I feel like if I kind of get stuff done now, then I won't have to stay quite as late over the course of the week. So one of the things that I have to do before I leave tonight, just so I can be ready, because so tomorrow my students are going to participate in a Week of Respect lesson that I made. I'll share details about that tomorrow. I also am giving them a post-lab quiz on our Golden Penny lab from last week. And then on Wednesday, my students will be doing some phenomenaling. And so in order to get ready for that and introduce our phenomena, I am giving my students glow sticks. But these glow sticks, you have to attach these little plastic like holders to them in order to make the bracelets out of them. So what I wanted to do really quick is attach these, and then I was going to make some copies so that I'm pretty much ready for the rest of the week, because it's so quiet. Nobody's here except me, I think. So I'm going to make those copies, that way I don't have to stay quite as late later on this week. Okay, so it's about 5:30 now. I am headed out. I am finally going home, and it's a good thing because I gotta wake up tomorrow morning and go to the gym. So I will be up at 4:30, bright and early. Good morning. I'm getting a little bit of a late start today because I'm pretty much all set with my classes. So it's about, looks like 5:30. So I'm gonna get to the gym, and then when I get to school, I think I'm all good. I really don't have anything to do. The only thing I might check on is my Week of Respect lesson that I'm doing, and just make sure that that's kind of all organized. So for today, my students will be taking a post-lab quiz on our lab last week, and then I'll be doing a week of respect lesson, and I'll show you those details soon. Thank you for seeing me. I feel so alone. Thank you for getting me. I feel by your Hi, it is Tuesday. It is about, believe it or not, it's about 5 o'clock. So I had a meeting after school today for a club, and it took a lot longer than I expected. The kids weren't here, but I had to meet with the other advisor. But so I had a great day with my students. The students took a quiz today on Google Forms. I used this like focused browsing session with the students through one of the applications that we have, and it worked well. There were no issues, thank goodness. So they took their post-lab quiz on the lab that we did last week, and then what I did was a like week of respect lesson. So I really feel like when we're doing week of respect, you know, to talk about respect can be very vague. Respect comes in many forms, and so one of the things that I try to do is be a little bit more specific as far as like what respect looks like, or some tools that students can use to show respect. So the theme that I chose to talk with my students about this year was empathy. So the first video that I showed to my students, I actually did yesterday when they first came in. I played the video clip to Alanis Morissette, Empathy. And it just was playing, you know, on the overhead when they came in. And so, you know, again, you know, it's just something to get them thinking about, you know, what it means to be respectful. And they didn't know at the time that it was going to be, you know, part of my respect lesson, but I just wanted them to kind of think about it. And, you know, ultimately today when they came in, I did a Nearpod with the students where they were prompted to describe what they believe empathy is. And then I showed them another video clip, actually that was made by a bunch of I think they were middle school students, that talks about what empathy looks like. And I could actually link it. I'll link it down below in the description so you kind of know what I was talking about. But yeah, so I showed that video to them, and I just had some reflection questions. Like I asked them, like, how do you think that, you know, you will be expected to show empathy to your classmates over the course of the school year? And I used a really cool collaborative board in nearpod.com, and so that was really great. The students seemed to enjoy it, and then the best part about it is that the students you can actually like hide their names, so no students really knew who was typing what. And then I guess the final thing that I did was there was a video by Brene Brown who went through like the difference between empathy and sympathy, and I like loved that video, and I thought the kids really did too. And it has some funny parts as well. But so yeah, so the students did that, and then again they kind of filled out, you know, a question that said something like something along the lines of, you know, is there anybody else in your life besides your classmates that need empathy, and who? So that kind of wrapped up, you know, a little bit of a week of respect lesson, but I do have plans to do some other stuff over the course of the week. I mean, it is only Tuesday, so I still got a few days. So right now, I need to set up for my lab tomorrow. So my lab tomorrow is the flame test, and we're also going to be doing some phenomenaling tomorrow. So I have the flame test with one class that we're going to be doing, because I have labs in 4 days, so I do have one lab a day. But with the other classes, they'll be doing some phenomenaling, so I have to get set up for that. Okay, so my lab is all set up for tomorrow. You can see that whenever I do a lab, I actually have to put it in baskets. It just helps to make my life so much easier whenever I'm going from classroom to classroom. So I think I got these baskets from I think they were Dollar Tree, and they hold up pretty well. I mean, they're not the best quality because it's, you know, a dollar store, but I have been using it. This is the second year in a row, and as long as you don't put anything heavy in it, they work just fine, and they seem to be the perfect size for just about all our experiments. So what I do is I put all the equipment that a single lab station would need. That way, like, for example, if I'm pressed for time, I can just simply just pick it up and just put it at the lab station, and the kids have everything that they need in order to do the lab. So tomorrow, fortunately, I do have lab in typically a non-chemistry room. It's actually an environmental room. So I won't be able to actually like have access to equipment. So the reason why I go through the trouble of putting all these things together is because I'm like worried, like what if I'm in lab and I have something, you know, I need something and I don't have it. So that's why I go through and put everything in these little baskets. It just makes my life so much easier. And tomorrow I have lunch before I actually have the class that I'm doing the lab in. So that works out really well too, because who says lunch is actually to eat lunch? Lunch is for setting up labs. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I might grab something earlier on if I can, but I'd much rather just set up the lab instead of being stressed and trying to eat my lunch. So I just go ahead and set up the lab, and I'll just work through the rest of the day and have a snack later on or earlier in the day. So that is it for me. I'm going to get out of here. Tomorrow is Wednesday already. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So tomorrow I'll be doing the flame test with the one class, and then I'll also be doing some phenomenaling with the other classes, which I'm very excited about. So we will be taking a look at how light is created using all different phenomena. So stay tuned till tomorrow to see what I do. Yes, it is. So we're thinking about the excited state. So we labeled this ground state, we labeled this excited state. So talk about what's your rationale for calling it ground state?
Ground state.
Nothing's really happening? Okay, I understand what you mean. All right, so then let's contrast that with excited state then.
Well, when we were working on the other groups, they were saying how like it was jumping from like the occupied to an unoccupied level. So that means like something was done to like excite it and make it.
Okay, so in the lab today we're doing the flame test. What do you think is going to serve to excite the electron?
Thermal energy.
The thing. What's the thing called?
The
What's
thing
the
that
tool?
you're dipping it in.
Thermal energy.
No, the
Thermal
metal.
energy from the
Flame.
Yes, you got it. So good. Okay. Hi. So it is about 4:15 on Wednesday. It was a great day with my students. Very busy day. I had period 1, and then I had 3, and then I had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I had lab today. So I'm a little tired, to say the least. And then I always tend to get tired whenever we do our phenomenaling exercises, because I'm constantly like explaining and reiterating, and it's a lot, but it's okay. It was a great day. So I started with a do now with my classes on Bohr models and reviewing electron dot structures, and that was fine. And then what I did was I did some phenomenaling with the students, and I basically, whenever I do phenomenaling is really just a term for scaffolding, creating phenomena-based modeling. So my students were shown a bunch of phenomena. I actually gave them glow bracelets today. So I gave them glow bracelets. I showed them a flashlight. I flicked the lights on and off. I showed them fireworks. I just showed them a whole bunch of different light-producing phenomena. And what they had to do was model the unobservable to try and explain what goes on in an atom when light is created. So we started with a real simple model. We started with hydrogen. And ultimately what they were trying to do was show how hydrogen would make different light, different colored light. And so it worked pretty well. I use also magnets to help the students understand, the differences in potential energy and then like when energy is released. So they have a hard time, the students, understanding like energy is absorbed when you're trying to separate two particles that are attracted to each other. So I gave them manipulatives, I gave them magnets to use today, and that worked really well. They enjoyed that. And then their models were awesome. They really came out very, very good. But I notice with the phenomenaling, like if the students aren't like listening and engaged whenever we're having a class discussion, the model like completely falls apart. So I had to do a lot of like reiterating and re-explaining. And so next time I'll have to just make sure that, I have everybody's attention before we start the class discussion. But all in all, it was a great day. It was a busy day. I actually just got done recording a video for my students on problem solving, because we're moving into light, and light is a wave, light is a particle, and so often they have a difficult time doing light calculations. So I wanted to do a problem solving strategy video for them. So that is done. So I am pretty much all set for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be moving into a POGL, where we take a look at light is a wave, light is a particle, and doing calculations associated with each. So all in all, it was a great day, and it is almost the end of the week. I am very tired, but I'm hoping to get some rest tonight, so I'll feel a little bit better tomorrow. It's Thursday. I am starting my day, heading to the gym, and then I'm going to get to school, and I have to just get some stuff ready for the POGL activity that we're doing today. I do have another lab today with the flame test, so I'm going to set that up as well. It should be a pretty busy day, because it always seems that lab days I have like absolutely no time to do anything, but it should be a good day.
I wanted to make this video to show you a really helpful strategy for solving word problems in this light unit. This light unit really isn't super difficult, but what gets difficult for students is when they're going through and reading a problem, they really don't know where to start. So one thing that I was hoping to do was model for you a really helpful strategy whenever you're asked to perform any kind of calculation in this class. And this works for chemistry, but it also works for math.
Hi, it is Thursday, and I am so tired. I don't know what it is this week, but I am just absolutely exhausted. So what did I do today with my students? I can't even think straight. I'm that tired. Probably because, let me see, it is actually 5:11. So I've been working late every single night this week, and I told myself at the beginning of the school year I would not do this, and here I am. Every single day I worked late. So next week things have got to change. I can't do that. Anyway, so what did I do with my students today? Okay, so today my students had a do now where they were reviewing what we talked about yesterday in the phenomenaling, where they were modeling how light is created within an atom. So we went over that, we talked about it, and I passed back their exit tickets from yesterday, and we reviewed that. And then we went ahead and we started a POGL. So the POGL was to talk about the properties of light. And so we looked at essentially light as a wave, light as a particle. They got familiar with parts of a wave. And the majority of that was basically just doing the calculations. I also made a video talking about a helpful problem-solving strategy whenever the students are solving these light calculations. Believe it or not, that's typically the part of the unit that they have the hardest time with. So I thought I would do something different this year and record a video and require them to watch it. It's just a video that goes over 2 questions about, basically I think it uses C equals lambda nu, and then it also uses E equals Planck's constant times the frequency. So the students overall have said that it's been really positive and they really like it. In fact, they also shared with me that they prefer me to do my flipped learning lessons at the whiteboard. So they actually don't want me to do my flipped learning lessons on PowerPoint, which I thought was interesting. So that is something to consider, because I think in one of my previous videos, I had to rest my arm. My arm is just so tired. I think in one of my previous videos, I was talking about how I was kind of doing a pseudo fizz method. And so that's something that I'll have to think about. It's not, I have so many videos now. I probably have a library of 70 videos for different topics, and it's not always feasible to record videos using the fizz method because it's just a lot. That would be a lot of writing, but as I make new videos I might end up trying to do that more and more. So anywho, let me show you one thing that I've been kind of experimenting with, which I have not done before. I've been using Google Forms for assessments a lot more frequently this year. And one of the things that I think is so cool is that it actually keeps you from seeing the students' names when you're grading it. So check this out. So this was one of the questions that I had on my lab quiz that I gave on Tuesday. And so I've been using the Google form like short answer type of questions. And I've found that one of the things is when you're going to grade this, you can see when you're looking at this, there's absolutely no indication of the student name. And that's one thing that I really appreciate. And then also, this is all the answers to the same question. So you can go through and you can actually like go through and like pick a certain question that you want to, you know, grade or whatever. And then you won't see the students' names. So I have really been enjoying this, and don't think, oh my gosh, you only have 44 students. No, I actually give different versions of the quiz, so that's why there's only 44 versions. I think the other version has like 55 or something. So yeah, so I have been really enjoying it, and then sometimes I also go ahead and I will like do some like you know, quick like multiple choice questions and stuff like that. So it you know, like I said, I really like it so far, and the students don't mind it. And to be honest with you, I didn't finish grading yet, so don't be like, oh my gosh, what's going on with the average? I didn't finish grading one question, but yeah, I really like it because not only that, but it also gives you information about like which like it allows you to release the scores, but it also tells you which problems the students are getting wrong too, which is kind of nice. It has been a week of respect, and you know, obviously I talked about the lesson that I did earlier this week, but I just thought one of the things that I would do is kind of, you know, spend some time reflecting on the week and kind of sharing some love with some of the other students in the school. And I thought, what better way to do that than just do something really simple. So what I made were these little sheets that say Week of Respect 2018, and it says, give a little love by writing complimentary, encouraging, and supportive messages on these Post-it notes, then share the love. So I was going to play a video clip tomorrow. I think it's by Noah and the Whale, and it's the song is called Give a Little Love, and it basically shows, you know, how one act of kindness can, you know, facilitate a whole bunch of kindness being shown all around. And so I thought that one thing that we would try is to share some, you know, a little love with some of our peers, but by just simply handing somebody a Post-it note that they don't know, or putting it on a locker. So I just thought that would be one way that we can kind of end our week and reflect a little bit on Week of Respect, and just remind ourselves that, you know, respect comes in many, many different forms, and kindness comes in many, many different forms. Even the most simplistic thing can make a huge difference. So I'm going to put these in these, I bought these, I guess they're like plastic frames from Dollar Tree. These are like the best investment ever. I use them all the time. I use them for station learning. I use them for everything. So I'm going to put these in their respective holders, and then we'll kind of go from there and see what else I have to do. That is it for me. I am going to finish grading my post-lab quiz, and then hopefully I am going to get out of here and get some rest, because wow, like, I don't know what it is this week. I think, you know what, I think I'm just kind of settling into school, and like, you know, the labs and the, you know, the student center learning and all the prepping with things is just starting to catch up with me. And, you know, this weekend I'm going to be busy, because if you're in New Jersey, you definitely know about SGOs, and those are due, I'm pretty sure, Friday of next week. So it is going to be a very crazy weekend, but I have to find some time for me, and, you know, find some time to just sit, reflect on my week, think about the lessons that I did, jot some stuff down, some ideas and thoughts for the next time I do this, and take some time to relax. That's really important. You need to take care of yourself. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I need to remind myself of that, because I really have not been taking care of myself this week. Hello, it is Friday, TGIF, so it's been a really great week so far. My students will have their last activity today for Week of Respect, where they'll watch a video called Give a Little Love by Noah and the Whale. And they'll watch the video, and basically the whole premise of the video is one small act of kindness can basically drive a whole bunch of other acts of kindness. And then they'll take some Post-it notes and write some encouraging messages. And my goal with that is just to show them that one small thing can make a huge difference in somebody's lives. And so really what I want to do is have them give the Post-it notes to somebody that they don't know, not a friend, but somebody that they don't know, because again, you don't know if who really needs it. And so that's my goal. And also, I think that letting students know that being nice to people that you don't know is important too. It's not just about who you're friendly with. So this is I think the second or third time I've done this, and it's been pretty successful. I even actually got a note in my little mailbox here. So I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but I have my own mailbox. And so I got a little note in my mailbox. Oh, it says Miss Randazzo's the best. That's cute. Oh, here's another one. Wait, I got another one. This says, I love Chem. So cute. Anyway, and that makes me feel good. So that'll be my last, lesson for Week of Respect. And then we'll move into finishing the POGL for today. And then once they finish the POGL and I kind of check off that they're all good, then they'll have extra practice. So then pretty much they'll be ready for their quiz on Monday. But the plan for Monday is to give them some time in class for extra practice, and then they'll take the quiz. So we'll review, and then they'll take the quiz. And then that's pretty much it. So I have lab at the end of today. So I have lab. I'm in my third class period of lab. I only have one more on Monday, and then that's it for the flame test. Okay, I made it. It's the end of the day on Friday. It was a great day with my students. I feel like I always say that, but it's true. Like this year, I really have awesome students. Case in point, I got some new additions to my mailbox than when I last recorded. So I'll just read a couple of them, but it says, you are the first teacher that made me truly like science. So that was very sweet. This one says, Miss R, you are an awesome chemistry teacher and super nice. Very nice. This one's a little bit longer, but it says, I thought I didn't like any science because biology was hard for me last year, but your class makes me interested in learning about science again. Thank you for always being so enthusiastic. I like coming to your class. Very, very nice. So I am going to save those in my desk. Actually, I have a feel-good file where I put all the things that students give me that I find to be very, very touching. So I'm going to put that in there and open it, on my tough days, which haven't been so bad. I haven't really had to use my feel-good file so much, to reflect on things. But, as much as this week is about Week of Respect, I think this week is also about making people aware of the impact that you've had on their lives. And so the fact that my students took it upon themselves to, put these notes in my mailbox really says a lot. It's taken me a long time. This is my 12th year of teaching. It's taken me a long time to be able to say, quite frankly, you do the best that you can, but it's very, very tough to help every kid and reach every kid. And, while we always aspire to do that, it's not always that easy. And the fact of the matter is, there are some students like today, they will tell you now that you are impacting them. But a lot of them, I don't think will realize that you impacted their lives until way later. So, you know, when they're in college or, you know, as a young adult, they will start to realize how much you've done for them and all the lessons that you've taught them and the behavior that you've modeled for them. And, you know, it's awesome to get those accolades early on, but, you know, you have to keep in mind that there are so many kids that you don't know that you're reaching. And that's one thing that I have to tell myself. I have to just believe that by, you know, modeling good behavior, keeping that positive attitude, that can really make a huge difference in a kid's life, you know, especially if they have an environment that they can come into and depend on, you know, that routine, that ability to expect the same thing over and over again, I think really brings kids comfort. And so it's nice to know that my students feel that, you know, I have a really positive learning environment. So with that said, I hope that you had a wonderful week of respect with your students if you are celebrating. But most of all, I just want you to know that, you know, the fact that you're watching this YouTube channel really says a lot about who you are as a teacher. It says that you are interested in being a better teacher. And I think that really makes a huge difference. You know, the want to be better will make a huge difference in the lives of your students, whether you realize it or not. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great week, and I will see you in about 2 more weeks. Thanks so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope you found the information helpful as you teach science to your students. I really don't want to lose touch, so please make sure that you hit both like and subscribe so you get notifications every time I post a new video, and I'll catch you later. Right, it is Wednesday. Oh no, it's not. It is actually Tuesday. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Hi. Hi.